Vizsla has consolidated an entire precious metals district with multiple producing centers in southern Sinaloa, Mexico. And the goal is essentially to become Mexico's newest high-grade silver producer.
Hello there, my friends. Chris Marcus here with you for Arcadia Economics. And today, excited to highlight a new company we're going to be providing coverage of, which is Vizsla Resources. And I am here with Michael Connert, who is the CEO of Vizsla, and really directing a lot of the things they're doing and providing information, explaining the risks and what investors are looking at. And a company with a lot of exciting news recently. If you have not heard of Vizsla, you are going to hear them soon, especially with all the dynamics in the silver world. Michael, we talked earlier today about how you see a lot of, not the mainstream money, but a lot of smart money. A lot of these deals are oversubscribed right now. And I don't think it's an accident given the monetary environment, all the pressures building on the market. So great to have you here today and learn a little bit more about the company. How's everything going with you?
Yeah, very well, very well. Yeah, it's been a very exciting time to be in silver, first of all, and also to make a new discovery in Mexico.
Yeah, it certainly is an exciting time. And for folks who are not already familiar with what you're doing, perhaps first you could just give an overview of where you guys are. You mentioned Mexico already, but what stage your projects are at, an overview, what percentage silver, so people can get a good overview of the risk profile.
Yeah, definitely. So Vizsla has consolidated an entire precious metals district with multiple producing centers in southern Sinaloa, Mexico. Now, we're the first company to have done this, is consolidate the entire district, and we're currently exploring it. And the goal is essentially to put together a resource, execute the options that we have on the mill and the tailings and all the production infrastructure that exists on the property, and become Mexico's newest high-grade silver producer. So looking at our results and some of the information that we have on the project, we know that there's very high grades of silver and gold, but the project is a predominantly silver-rich vein field, epithermal vein field, similar to others that you'd see in Mexico, like Fresnillo, Zacatecas, and Guanajuato, and San Dimas as well. Now, about typically across the district, about 60% of the results that we see, the ore is generally historic. I should say the historic ore in the reports that we've seen is about 60% silver to 40% gold. In some cases, we see elevated gold, but broadly speaking, the district is predominantly silver.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you have a rather prestigious list of neighbors in the area there. Perhaps you could talk about some of the projects that have been going on around there and what led you to look in that particular area.
Well, one of the most interesting neighbors to us, I think, is First Majestic San Dimas mine. Now, I think most people are quite familiar with First Majestic. San Dimas is their top operating mine, and a great comparison to have because so Panuco, our project, and San Dimas share a lot of things. They share a similar type of deposit, similar type of mineralization event, but also a very similar history where San Dimas has seen centuries and centuries of production. So has Vizsla. So has our Panuco project. The big difference, I guess, of the history between San Dimas and Vizsla was that San Dimas was consolidated earlier, and it was able to be explored, and as such, it's produced over, I believe, 11 million ounces of silver. I think it's over 6 million ounces of gold. It's in gold equivalents, so 110 million ounces of silver. And so it's a very exciting comparison to have there at San Dimas, and that's only 80 kilometers away to the north of our project. And so that's one of them. Of course, a number of these other districts in Mexico that have become very prolific and similar type of multi-century production in Mexico exist, and we do compare very favorably to places like Zacatecas, Fresnillo, Guanajuato, and even Los Chispas, the Silvercrest major mine.
Yeah, and Michael, fortunately, you just had some drill results come back, and I will pull them up right here and then let you take it away. And anything you could share about your thoughts on what happened here.
Yeah, so we're very very excited, but also very lucky to have made this discovery at in the first drill hole we put onto a brand new vein corridor called the Napoleon Vein Corridor at the Panuco project. And this drill hole intersected over 1.5 kilograms, or 1,544 grams per ton silver equivalent, over 8 meters at this new discovery. And that's a spectacular drill result. For those who may not be up to date with drill results in Mexico, that puts us at the very top of a short list of new discoveries there. Similar to companies like Silvercrest and other very high grade results in Mexico. So this is really spectacular. These equivalents, we only include the gold and the silver, but there also were some base metals in that. But to have this type of intercept over a very large area is really exciting. So now what we're doing is actually drilling to the north and to the south of this initial discovery hole, and testing and understanding the dimensions of this vein corridor. The goal being that we put together a resource and understand the economic potential of this as it relates to potential production in the future.
Yeah, and obviously a big part of that is who's out there doing it. Do they know what they're doing? And fortunately, it's nice. I didn't realize you were formerly with Riverside Resources, and John Mark Stouty, who had on the show and we know well. Can you talk about the management team and especially Charles? He had a great interview you guys did recently. And just some of the folks that are involved in the project, because I know that's something investors definitely like to hear about.
Yeah, absolutely. So, myself and Charles, we're very, I think we're very happy that we're able to work together on this, because we've known each other for quite some time. I recognized Charles's achievements when he was at another company operating in Mexico called Evram, but he's also had experience with majors, including Newcrest out of Australia, where he was responsible for generating new business ideas in Mexico. So Charles is a very well accomplished, very well thought of young geologist, young executive geologist, and someone who's very fast creating a legacy for himself, specifically with this acquisition, or the discovery of the Napoleon vein. So very exciting there. But there's also a little bit more depth to the team, and that comes through our board. And the board has a number of notable people, including Craig Perry, Simon Smirlick, and Stuart Smith. Craig is actually my business partner in a number of ventures previously, but we partnered up together on Vizsla in order to create a silver investment vehicle for ourselves and also for shareholders. Craig is the one of the founders and advisor to EMR Capital, which is a multi-billion-dollar private equity firm based out of Australia. He was also one of the founding shareholders of Next Gen Energy, which is a major uranium discovery in Athabasca that was backed by Li Ka-shing. In addition to that, he's the chairman of Skeena Resources. So a number of very significant companies that Craig's been involved in, and one of the funny and coincidence becoming a coincidence is Craig's involvement in very high grade businesses, uranium, gold, and now silver. In addition, we have Simon Smirlick on our board. Simon Smirlick is the chief operating officer of Ausenco Engineering, a multi-billion-dollar engineering firm. It's built, I think it's widely regarded as the industry's best mine builder. and someone that we can rely on for leadership, but also infrastructure intel for us as well too. So that's very exciting. Stuart Smith, most recently with Tech Resources, one of the world's largest mining companies, and was in charge of one of their international divisions there. So very good geologist to have on our team. And so we're very well rounded in the board, but also the management, and we're supported by an excellent staff as well too.
Yeah, and additionally, it looks like you've had some good news in terms of the financing, and perhaps you could touch on that for a moment.
Yeah, so we recently completed a prospectus offering with Canaccord Financial leading that bought deal for just over $4.5 million, and that brings our cash balance on our company to just under $6 million right now. So we're in a very good financial position. Structurally, we have 70 million shares outstanding. Of that, myself, the gentleman that I was referring to earlier, we own about 20% of the company, and we continue to support it at each round. And it's a very well held company. We do a good job, I think, of institutional marketing, and we have a great shareholder register there as well, including a number of funds and investment groups. But also we have a strong retail shareholder.
Yeah, and what's the exit plan, Michael?
Well, our exit plan, as I just talked about our board and our team, our exit plan is always to be a producing business. That's why that's why we put this team together. That's why we went after this asset, because we could see that there was a significant opportunity to become a meaningful producer of silver and gold. And for us, there's a quick pathway to production through the options that we have. And for us, it's always to become a producing silver miner. And you can look and you can see on the share charts of number of companies as they enter into commercial production that they receive a significant re-rating. And we believe that in the coming silver price environment, this is going to be a fantastic opportunity to be a company that's actually producing silver.
Yeah, it's nice to hear you say that, and then also mention high grade and everything else in the same time, which sets up an exciting profile. Last thing I wanted to cover today, you talked about it just a moment ago, but if you could talk about the mill and what that allows you to do, the option that you have there, and what folks should be aware of on that.
Yeah, so we have a producing mill tailings facility that's under option to us. We can purchase that essentially, but that gives us the ability to go into production. But what's really exciting about that is actually the mill is permitted. The mill has recently been operating, but we have community engagement agreements that could be essentially transferred to us through the exercise of the option and getting the mill. So what that does is actually creates an opportunity for us to move from discovery to development to production faster than pretty much any other company out there. A normal company would spend years permitting, years in construction, and all of that would be based on whether or not the community wants it there. Knowing that there's centuries of production in this area gives us an advantage and an expedited path towards that production.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, and it seems like you have a lot of good things going on. Perhaps just in wrapping up, can you let folks know what is the best way to reach you?
Absolutely. So we can be, the best way to get a hold of us is to go to our website, vizslaresources.com, and click the contact tab, and you can enter the form there. You can call us, you can email us. We'd love to hear from shareholders and investors, so please do that.
Well, I appreciate that, Michael. Folks at home, certainly if it sounds like it's the type of profile you're looking for, go ahead, get more information. We will be providing more coverage of Vizsla, following the story along the way as we go. And Michael, I thank you again for joining me today. Look forward to catching up again soon.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.